Welcome to
All
Hot
right.
Takes, everybody. We are so glad to see everyone in chat. I see a lot of new faces tonight and a lot of treasured regulars as well. Hot Takes, if you're not familiar, is the internet's preeminent Vaporwave talk show starring myself, young SHIRO, Vaporwave curator, personality, and DJ, and a rotating set of co-hosts. And my host tonight is the illustrious and renowned Luxury Elite. Say hello to everybody, Lux.
Illustrious. Ooh. Hi, everybody. Hello.
We're excited to be here tonight with a beloved and longtime member of the Vaporwave and adjacent outsider music scene, one Jordan Bortner, the man behind Groceries, JPEG Stripes, and Null Object, among other things, like their new label that we'll be getting into in greater detail here in a little bit, mostly because I'm forgetting a lot of things, and he'll help me with that. But anyways, delightful person. If you've not seen him perform, it's always a good time, and the conversations are always memorable. So, great pick. This was Lux's pull. Terrific pull. We're overjoyed that we're going to be able to sit down and talk to Groceries tonight, but I want to lay down a few ground rules, enlist some help from the chat, and begin tonight's show. So if you haven't tuned into a Hot Takes before, a couple things to know. We don't do any sort of sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, or xenophobia on Hot Takes. Keep it kind. We believe all opinions are created equal, so post your strongest takes in chat, but keep it kind, please. If you must punch, please punch up, and I mean way above your weight class. No punching down is allowed at Hot Takes. You'll see a series of commands at the bottom if you hadn't picked up on those yet. Couple cool things you can. I thought I updated that. It still says pre-order Sanctuary Live shirts. Okay, they're not pre-order anymore. You can get shirts. Yeah, I might be able to fix that during the show. But anyways, there's Sanctuary Live 26 shirts. We'll talk about how that went later on. That you can still buy direct from Crystal Eternal. You can.
They are
also,
on sale.
They are. That's correct. There is sale pricing. Additionally, we have a brand new playlist. If you didn't see during the kind of pre-roll, there's a brand new playlist that I just got at the 11th hour from Van Gogh. And Van Gogh, let me tell you, is quite the tastemaker. He's got great taste when it comes to like just hypnagogia, shoegaze, dream pop, chillwave. Really terrific playlist with a lot of tracks that I recognized and really treasure. So definitely hit that exclamation point YouTube and check out our curated playlists, especially the new one, courtesy of Van Gogh. Thank you for that playlist, Van Gogh. Been experimenting with the audio a little bit. If I'm too quiet, if Lux is too loud, if the music is coming in too hot, please let me know. I'm happy to turn stuff down, turn people up. Just say something in the chat. This is a very DIY show, so let me know if things don't sound right so that I can please let me know so I can fix them. But anyways, I think that about covers everything you guys need to know. We're going to go ahead and get started with a couple recommendations. I had a little bit of a dry spell last episode, really kind of like digging through the dregs to try to give y'all something to put y'all on. This time around, I had some terrific pulls in the last couple. Actually, it's been like 3 weeks since the last Hot Takes because we thought we were bringing somebody else on. Short Stuff says she keeps hearing a clicking or popping sound. Oh no!
It's.
Well, hopefully it's not too bad.
I usually hear whenever I hear you
stage,
talking.
I don't know that I can fix it this late into the episode, so I'll fiddle around with that once someone else is talking. But let's get started. Thank you for the help. It might be when I touch my face to the mic. That's probably what it is. 3 picks I have for you guys tonight. It's 3 picks tonight, guys. We're gonna start with the one that I know y'all are gonna fuck with, and that is a album that I found that is along the lines of people that are fans of that raw, gritty, battered lo-fi house, along the lines of like Cult Member and some of the other artists that are new to the lo-fi house. You know, not DJ Seinfeld, Ross from Friends, and DJ Sabrina, people who've been around since the middle 2010s, but the new players. And this artist has probably the scuzziest sound I have heard to date. I was so excited about it. I had to post in the server and tag a couple people that I knew were fans of that, like Roge and Frez. And this guy, he goes by Hush. with 3 H's at the end. He previously went by Nobody, which was just spelled like nobody, but there was an X in place of the second O, and then like 2 Y's at the end. I don't know. Just names, right? So this right here, if you haven't checked this out and you really like degraded sounds, this album, it's got a hilarious name too. It's called Too Much Music, What the Fuck, I'm Sorry, LOL. That's the name of the album by Hush.
Okay.
He's got a track that's like 14 minutes long. It's crazy. And then one that's like 2 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but like all of the effects are there and it is muddled. And yeah, it's crunchy as fuck. And there's a lot of like R&B samples that are like pitched down and a lot just very warbled sounding. It's good. At least I like it. Anyone that's a fan of like Fruitage or Arrow, you know, the like ringtone shit where it's like bit crushed, there's some of that going on too. So check out Too Much Music, What the Fuck, I'm Sorry, LOL by Hush. You can see in the URLs, it still has their previous artist name too. Another album kind of along the same lines, No Format, should be a name that anyone who fucks with lo-fi house should be familiar with. I actually got this CD in the mail today. Let me show y'all what this looks like really quick. So this looks like, if you can see it, it looks like a mixtape that was written on with marker. It's not. It's a label. But it literally came in this, like, just clear-ass jewel case. With
cute.
It looks, this is the most Fruitage or Arrow shit. It looks like a mixtape. And it fucking bangs, all right? It's not lo-fi. I feel like No Format kind of got started with, like, lo-fi shit like 1992 and stuff like that. And it's kind of like taken his sound in a more, like, kind of like club-ready direction, but it's very, like, emotive, very melodramatic, very, like, just strong melodic melodies. There's a noun for that. Strong melodies. And it's just, it's very, like, it's very morose. So if you like club-ready, morose, like this, just definitely, you got to check it out. It's an alien. Look, there's a little alien guy on here. You got to check out No Formats. It's called Memory, or it could be Momori. I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyways, great stuff that I can highly recommend. All right, and then my the one I'm going to challenge you guys to check out that's a little bit out of the kind of like what you guys typically listen to. I don't know why I'm playing a teaser for an old mix. Let me skip that. Check out this compilation by a Finnish label called Third Eye Vision. Third Eye Vision puts out only like Finnish artists, and they play a lot of like deconstructed club and kind of like hyper pop, very like techno influenced, club ready, just alien soundscapes, but like radio friendly alien soundscapes, at least to a point. And Third Eye Vision 1.0 is the first installment. I actually have the other 3. For some reason, the first one was the last one that I got. But Third Eye Vision 1.0 that I've linked in the chat has some real bangers on it, including a track that is literally like it sounds like kind of like a mashup of like a neo R&B sample. It might be a popular song that I just don't know about, fused with Chrome Country by One-O-Trix Point Never, the final track on R+7. It's a weird like fusion that really works. I can't remember which track it is, but if you guys want to listen to some strange kind of alien but club-ready soundscapes that are experimental enough for Vaporwave fans to appreciate, check out Third Eye Vision 1.0. I think that's enough talking for me. I would like to bring Lux on the mic and find out what is on her mind tonight.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, that description kind of reminds me of like if somebody started off as like a sound clown artist and then decided to actually go and use that and take themselves seriously from there. One of my favorite sound clowns, actually, I'll just put this on a tangent. One of my favorite sound clowns is something that does not exist because unfortunately the person who created it is a little bit problematic, although they have resurfaced and are kind of popular in future funk. I'm not going to say their name. But they did this really interesting, like, was it Sleep Dealer? It was something on R+7. It was like one of the singles on R+7, mixed with A Milli by Lil Wayne. And it was the most like it worked so beautifully in a way that it bums me out that it's no longer online. I've tried to look for it and it's gone forever because that person was called out for being problematic, so that their shit was taken down. Oh, what's the track name? I know it. It's the single. What is the single? It had the chess video.
Yep, I know which one.
God.
It's not Zebra. It's yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Is it Still Life? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Sorry. Let me fix
I could look it up.
Need...
Yeah, so just they're saying in chat the music is hot and you're moving your face away from your mic, so you're getting kind of quiet.
All right. I did not want to hold on to the mic tonight, but I guess it's going to be a holding on to the mic for 2 hours kind of evening. But it's all right.
We will
Could be worse.
Love will find a way.
Yes. But yes, I have 2 hot takes. One that is like a continuation of the discussion that was happening in the hot take server. But ketchup is trash. Tomato sauce is trash. I fucking hate both of them. I think that we need to find something better. There you go. See, I told you I was going to have a spicy food take. Thank you.
Yeah.
I see facts, my queen. I agree. Thank you. I'm glad that I feel very validated right now. But yes, it is trash. Sorry. I think I just burped mid-talk. The second thing, I feel kind of bad, and I'm not going to name names here again, but I was listening to an album that was recommended that there were songs on it that I liked. There were songs that weren't quite my thing. But it was an album that was like, I think it was supposed to be kind of like a signal wavy, like maybe sign-off-y kind of theme. And one of the first tracks I recognized pretty quickly as being like an orchestral version of the most popular song from the Cats musical. I want to say Memory. And I only know it. I'm not a musical person. I only know it because somebody did a really great lip sync of it on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. But I recognized it right away, and they didn't really modify much of it. And I beg and plead of you, my friends, my homies, I'll just say it. I have gotten in trouble not too long ago because I sampled something and the original artist caught it and was not very happy. Thankfully, I did not have to pay money, but it was still a very scary experience. And I don't want that for you all. I understand that you guys sometimes will think, oh, hey, I'm not very well known. I can do whatever the fuck I want with this, even if it's not a lot at all, and nobody's going to catch me because I'm not very well known. But please, I've seen it with friends. I know a homie who has had to pay $1,000 because of sample clearance. I know more than one person, actually. I don't want that to happen to you all. Please be careful with how you sample things, because it can bite you in the ass, especially if you are messing with very high profile, very popular songs. Please, please, please be careful. It's not quite a hot take, but I don't know. Ketchup hating is my true hot take.
Word of advice.
That's my other thing.
Yeah, ketchup sucks, and so does mustard and mayo. A1 is the best.
Yes.
Boom. So, honestly, I think it's been way too much time that Groceries has not been on screen talking. So,
yeah,
if
true.
if you don't know Jordan Portner, if you're not familiar with Hey, we're open.
Hey.
This is embarrassing. Yes, we're open. Hey, we're open. He's laughing. Y'all can't see him. If you're not familiar with Yes, we're open.
Hey emoji now. I want
Someone clip
emoji.
that. Or their terrific, lesser known lo-fi house side project, Null Object, that I particularly like. Or the new label that they launched. You're in for a treat. Check it out. And go ahead and unmute yourself, Groceries, if you don't mind.
Hey, we're open.
What did you think about what Lux had to say about sampling?
I forgot everything she said after.
Hey, man, it wouldn't be hot takes without me saying something damn stupid. My bad. So,
it's okay. No, I'm joking. I remember what she said.
Hey, we're open.
I mean, like, I love compiling lists of like when people get the name of something wrong. And I
Oh
just think
man, why did this have to happen to me?
I just think it's like it could have been like, yeah, we're open, but just like, hey.
Welcome
I
in.
think that's amazing. Hi, hello.
Yay!
Well, okay. So what was the first?
So yeah,
thing?
thoughts. Sorry,
Ketchup
that
is
was
garbage.
Pretty, yeah, ketchup is garbage, and be careful who you sample. I guess
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing I'll say is I can get down with the ketchup hate, but I don't think ketchup is necessarily bad or like not a valid food. I mean, like,
Dare you? How dare you?
I mean, like, I don't really use it, but like, I will say it's pretty versatile. And I think we are used to associating ketchup with like children, and, like chicken nuggets and French fries and things.
Yeah.
But ketchup is used in like Indian cooking as kind of like a quick fix for like tomato vinegar and sugar and things. So
Interesting. I
actually
did not
didn't know
know
that.
that.
it's a pretty useful thing actually. Like, so I have no hate for ketchup, even though I don't use it myself. I will say I'll admit I was peeking at the Twitch chat a little bit. I saw someone saying Lux is pro Malort and anti-ketchup. She yearns for Chicago. And I will say ketchup has no place on a hot dog. And I'm not from Chicago.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
from
agreed.
Chicago, but oh my god, it's mustard or nothing, please.
I actually like mayonnaise with my hot dogs. I'm so-
I was about to tell a story and now I shouldn't.
No, tell the story. I want to know the story. Tell me.
When I was a kid, like, you know Sonic, the drive-in restaurant?
Yeah.
Like, the fast food? Yeah. I used to love to get, like, their foot-long hot dog or whatever, and then, like, my mom would, like, bring it, like, oh, I got a, hot dog from Sonic. And one time, they put mayo on it, and we were both like, who the fuck? It's mayo on a hot dog. Like, ketchup would be, like, weird, but, like, I guess, but mayo, we were just like, okay, that's psychopath.
Yeah,
I can
couldn't be me.
understand. I can understand. I did
Mayo-
not understand the appeal of it until I worked with somebody at a wholesale place that sold hot dogs. I'm not going to name names, but they told me, they were like, you should give it a shot. And I was like, okay, I suppose. And I saw the light. Now, have it with sport peppers, celery salt, and mayo, a hot dog, and it is a banger. It
You
is.
really do yearn for Chicago?
Oh yeah, Chicago dogs for life.
I've never even
Oh,
been
Chicago
to Chicago.
dogs are great, yeah.
I'm not crazy
I
about
mean-
like that fluorescent green relish,
Relish?
but I do love
Yeah.
the pickle spear and the Roma tomatoes and the sport peppers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pickle.
I do like that. I don't like a combination of pickle and relish. I feel like it's like
Yeah,
hat
it's a
on
little
hat.
much.
Like it's
That
kind
is fair. That
Okay,
is
Tom
fair.
Nook.
That would be a little too much.
but mayo is also a very versatile ingredient, so it's probably fine. I guess what I'm thinking is just like bun, hot dog, mayo. That's it. It sounds a
Yeah,
little
insanity,
weird.
criminal,
I
electric
do
chair.
like that too, but
Go to hot dog jail.
Yeah, federal hot dog prison,
do not pass go.
torture ward.
You are
So what
stuck.
do you
The
think about what
gulag.
she said about being careful what you sample? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some of y'all may know I had my own kind of like copyright issue,
Ooh.
like
Did you?
Did
I
not know
didn't.
that.
years ago. It was weird because it was like kind of the opposite of what you would think. Like, the thing is, like, when I first made Yes We're Open, I wasn't like seeking out specific artists. Like, I was like, oh, I should sample this artist. Like, I know this would go well. I was just kind of looking for things that sounded like what I wanted. And turns out some of those artists are more known, some of them aren't. And I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. But the only person who's ever approached me with anything related to copyright and music was not a big artist. It was
Yeah.
actually a very small artist who was just very particular about copywriting everything they do on like ASCAP and whatever, and they were a very litigious personality type. So I just kind of hit like the wrong person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did everything like get resolved okay, or did it escalate, if I may ask?
Yeah, I mean, we figured it out. The thing is, this happened like in 2018 as I was getting ready to go to Korea, and I was actually prepared to like be the Vaporwave person to actually resolve this. Like, you know what? Because like this is like a thing that happens at Vaporwave all the time. It's like, well, what about copyright? What about this? And I'm like, you know what? I think there is a fair and honest argument for this. And I was like, I'm willing to be the guy who like does whatever. Like, I have to go to court and make an argument for Vaporwave or whatever. I was willing to be that guy.
That's hard.
Holy shit! All right.
But I was getting ready to move out of the country to go to Korea, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm just gonna, you know.
I can't blame you.
So you just took the track down, I assume, and they were good.
Well, no, they sent me like a document they wanted me to sign to like.
Oh my god.
What they wanted was for me to, you know, credit them as like a collaboration for the track, and they wanted me to like give them money, and they wanted me to give them a cut of like all the future sales and everything. And I just really didn't like this guy's attitude, and I didn't like his like being litigious over being an artist. Well, that combativeness, but also like his priorities when it comes to being an artist. Like he like had nothing to say about like the idea of like creativity or like, you know, curating samples or anything. Like he wasn't interested in any of that stuff. He was just like, well, the thing is, he thought he struck gold. He thought he found someone. He thought he found someone who had like stolen his music.
We getting out the hood with this lawsuit.
Yeah, like I was making like thousands of dollars off his track, and I was like, I have $50.
Hey, I have $50.
Yep.
That like he was asking.
Yeah, go. I'm sorry. Go for it. Go right ahead. I'll tell my story in a sec.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, he was asking me for more money than I ever made in total from the track, and I was just like, no, I don't know what you think this is, but I don't. Like, I sent him like the screenshots of like, here's how much money this track has made in total ever, and he was like, oh.
Wasn't interested anymore, was he?
So, well, yeah, and so he wanted me to give him like half of that, and then going forward to credit him, and then like any performances, or if I release it on physical or anything, digital sales, I would give him a cut of it. And I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't want to deal with him. It's not worth it. So I just took the track down and I gave him like his initial like half for like, you know, the thing. But I just took the track down because I didn't want to give him a cent more. So I was like, I'm not crediting you. I'm not that I'm not wanting to credit you. I don't want to give you like the clout. I don't want to promote your music for you. Like, I'm just like not dealing with this. So sorry, like you're on your own. Here's your $50. Bye.
Yeah, I feel it. With my situation, I think he thought it was going to be a little like similar to yours. Like, this person, their Spotify streaming's crazy. Like, I don't really get that much from streaming, and I don't think people realize it's from like literally 10 years. So those numbers, even if they look impressive, it's like, okay, it's been within 10 years of it being on there, and there's a couple of labels that don't even pay me at all, but I digress. I think he thought that he was going to make a lot, but I was like, I was like, I've made a whopping, after calculating it, with the label that also did a physical release, I think we maybe made like $45 from it, a whopping 45. So I responded and I was like, I've made very minimal amount. I have not, and I took down the track, and I had the label take down the track, so it does not exist anymore.
Oh my god, you had to split your retirement funds.
Woohoo!
Yeah, what's wrong with people?
Gotta love it. But yeah, I'm sorry that you had a similar scare in a similar situation, although it sounds like he was far more unpleasant than my experience was. I'm
Seriously.
very sorry.
He wasn't that unpleasant. Like once we like figured out like the reality of the situation and I signed his document, I never heard from him again. But I will say when you get like a barrage of like emails and DMs to like every, you know, grocery social media account or whatever saying like I'm this person and I'm coming after you, and it does, you know, it's scary.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have not looked at Lux emails for a long time for a reason. I'm afraid to
Yeah.
stumble upon it again.
Just like I don't even want to know about it.
I don't want to know. I just, yeah, it's rough. But
Well,
But yeah, I
groceries.
guess that's the
Yes,
take.
go ahead. Yes.
Yo, let's honestly like get started if you don't mind in getting to know you a little bit. I hate to change the subject, but we got a lot of hungry people in chat who want to know. I always like to ask this question.
Shopping.
Yeah, you know that all they need to do is go to the grocery store. It's open.
Exactly.
You
What
get it.
what would you say? You know, since music is clearly very important to all of us. What was that moment when you were young, I imagine, that you had an experience with something musical and it moved you enough that it was impactful enough that you were like, okay, this is special. Music is going to be the thing that I'm going to be into. Do you remember what it was?
Well, it would be hard to put it on one moment because I've been making music like all my life. I didn't find a moment where I was like, you know, I should be a musician. I just had always been one. And I was like, well, it's only natural. I just get into this. I think I was always drawn to music, and I would always like, oh, my parents hated it. I would always like beat on things in the house and kitchen and whatever. Like I would find like pots that made a cool sound or pans or stools or whatever and drum on them, and my parents would get so mad at me.
Adorable.
But that's the kind. I mean, I was the type of person who would not only jam and stuff, but then I would actually try to notate it, and it's like, you know, this is to be played on the bass pillow, which is the bigger pillow.
That's too cute.
And I was also like a huge I was totally like addicted to playing video games too, and so video game music was like a massive part of my childhood.
That's
and
what
so,
I was
like,
looking for.
Yeah, I would all. You're like pillows. I don't get it, but video games, yes.
I think I get all of the above. Like the making music thing is foreign to me because I don't make it, but like I can pinpoint what moved me when I was really young. So that's really cool that it was video game OSTs.
Yeah, certainly one of the big things was video games for sure. I mean, loved, like, you know, I grew up with like the Super Nintendo. I had an NES too, but I was a little young for that. Still have it though, but
very cool.
Yeah, but like I mean, Super Nintendo had like some of the best soundtracks ever. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, the things that were great about that was like you couldn't just do whatever you wanted. You had to like actually push the limits of the hardware to get what you wanted out of it, and that's where you get the real good stuff. Is when it's not just like, you know, you can record a whole orchestra. It's like, no, you have to like kind of like bend the limits a bit to get what you want, and that's where the real juicy stuff is.
What's your favorite soundtrack from any Super Nintendo game that you've played, if I may ask?
That's a good
Or
question.
if you want to list two or three, I also want to know.
I can never do a favorite. I have to do a top three. Let's see. Some that stick out to me. I mean, Donkey Kong Country is like obviously
the
like,
first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you cannot.
Fair.
I mean, I literally like had to make a tribute track for David Wise because of how great like Donkey Kong Country was.
Ooh. Which one did you do?
I didn't like. It wasn't a cover. It was an original track, but it was trying to kind of capture the NES sound.
Send this to me later.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed that I haven't already.
Yeah. Well, it's called A Word to the Wise in reference to his last name, but another one would be like anything Kirby. Honestly, Kirby has incredible music. Kirby Superstar, but also Kirby Crystal Shards.
Yes.
The Ruins track from Crystal Shards.
Oh,
is
you like that one?
For me.
It's the snow one, the ice one for me. Like when you're visiting like the Santa like house and like the factory and stuff.
I was gonna say, is that the one with all the metallic sounds in it too?
That's the one.
Clang.
That one happens after the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean everything in that game is great.
Agreed. It's actually one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Great choice.
Crystal Stars is? That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I gotta go, man, with Donkey Kong Country 2, Chrono Trigger, and
Donkey
probably
Kong Country also, or the sequel?
number 2, Diddy's
Number
Conquest.
2. Okay.
Yeah, terrific OST, followed by Chrono Trigger, and then I'm gonna cheat and just say the original Donkey Kong Country because damn, David Wise is the goat.
Yeah.
My
I mean that
picks
one has.
are- No,
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No. Continue the wise nerding out, please, and then I will say my picks.
I was only gonna say that you're correct. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest has like a great soundtrack. The Sticker Bush Symphony. That was. I mean, like, I feel like it's a vaporwave cliche, but like, child me was transfixed by this. Like,
He didn't have
the
to go that
reason-
hard. Like these songs were legit like moving. For me, it's the forest interlude, or possibly
yeah.
like the that real clanky sounding one for the mines. Yeah, and it's just like these melodies are so strong and like passionate sounding, and it's a bunch of monkeys running around, like yeah, yeah. David
great.
Wise did not have to go that hard.
very good.
Wholesome. I guess my favorite probably would be the Zombies Ate My Neighbor soundtrack, which feels a little random.
Okay.
But some of the songs are very weirdly like wholesome yet unsettling. And so I've
Interesting.
just always had a soft spot for them. Oh, what's the song I like the most? While I'm trying to figure that out, I always will forever have a soft spot for the Beavis and Butthead Super Nintendo OST. That is a banger. I love that one. I could recite them from memory. I don't know. I said probably. I can. And then I'd say my third one. I'm a basic bitch. I really liked the music from Super Tennis. Those are my three.
Wow.
These are 3 games I haven't played, but I believe you that they're good.
Yes. To this day, I have not played Super Tennis since so my sister gave the Super Nintendo back to her then husband, like, what was it, like 2002, 2003? I still get the Super Nintendo, like the Super
Tennis.
That's
Super
what my brain's trying to
Nintendo.
do. I'm like, no. Although that's a missed opportunity. That was absolutely a missed opportunity. They should have totally named it Super Nintendo. The Super Tennis, like, switch up music. There's like this little jingle, and I sing it at work, and everybody asks me what it is.
No way.
It's the
How
Super
funny.
Tennis. Yes, to this day.
Love that.
But I can't find the freaking title. But there is one song from Zombies Ate My Neighbors that it's creepy. I've put it on Halloween playlists. It's iconic. But yes, those are my
check it out.
3.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
have
you
to check those out
should.
too.
It's very weird, especially Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Beavis and Butthead sounds exactly how you would think it would sound.
Like rock, like guitar stuff, or
MIDI-fied, yes.
MIDI.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
of course, but
That's
yeah.
But yes,
fine.
MIDI-fied, quite goofy sounding. I love it.
Well, I am planning on doing like a Halloween DJ set in the future, so I'll have to look into this Zombies Kill My Neighbors to find a way of including that. The name sounds familiar because back like when I was doing a lot of video game corruptions, I'm pretty sure I did like a Halloween themed series of posts, and I'm pretty
Ooh.
sure I corrupted that game. I just like grabbed
Video
like,
game corruptions. Can you explain that?
so it's when you take like the ROM of a game and then you run it through something to like change the bits and the data in the game and then try to play it, and it kind of chugs
Interesting.
along.
So just kind of like
have
as an
you-
added challenge.
Well, it's not usually playable.
I can only imagine.
It can be if it's like a very lightly corrupted or whatever, and you might see a little like weird colors here and there or whatever.
Mhm.
But usually it's like you'll like if it's let's say like a game everyone knows like Super Mario World, like you'll corrupt it and like everything's all weird, and then maybe you collect an item and it crashes the game because it doesn't know what to do anymore.
Oh, hilarious.
So like, yeah, but I would do it more for like visual aesthetics, like to kind of create like visual art out of, or in the case of my JPEG Stripes CPU Jams albums, for recording the audio and using that as like basically like noise music.
Fun.
That's actually hella cool.
Yeah, you did that
out.
set. You did that set a few months ago where you had like a magnet that you had taken to the games, and it sounded like total hell. Like it was just crying for help. Is that basically similar to what you have done? Like in
Take
the past
that,
with...
AI.
Yeah. Who would win, AI or one magnet?
LMAO.
True. Magnet.
Well, are you talking about the Flamingo Fest performance?
Well,
or are you talking about the
it was
Christmas
like a URL
thing?
show. It was a URL show.
The Twitch like Christmas, like the Rogue, was it Rogue Corp who did this? Where I was waving the different magnets over it. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It was Christmas music, and they was all getting garbled and corrupted. Yeah. It's a similar idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could not recall. I was like, that was what I was envisioning, but I had to ask, even if it might have sounded slightly stupid.
This man is not afraid to destroy things.
True.
I mean, you gotta break things. That's how you make cool stuff.
I must say, you break to create.
Love it.
I mean, this is what glitch artists do.
True. That's facts. So what were some of the earliest, aside from video game OSTs, what were some of the earliest artists, like what music were, when you started, like, you know, kind of like actually getting into like musical artists, albums, genres, like what resonated with you when you were young?
Well, I will say I remember being like very young, like in elementary school, and I thought two things. One, the only music out there is what's on the radio.
True.
And I didn't like it, so I was just like, oh, I guess that's just what music is. And two is I thought like composers were all like, that didn't exist anymore, that like that happened in the past and there weren't modern composers anymore.
All powdered wig guys on pianos.
Yeah, it's like, well, the rock bands exist now, so Mozart and stuff doesn't happen anymore. So I was a bit confused growing up about music, but I eventually, you know, my dad would share things with me, or I'd find things on my own eventually when I got older. But I think a few things were Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Hell yeah!
Something I was like obsessed with as a kid.
Banger.
I was into like new age music, which
hell yeah.
If I couldn't make this up. I mean, like a vaporwave artist who grew up listening to new age music.
Right.
Imagine.
Yeah, who would have ever thought?
I mean, I think like one thing is like a lot of people when they're like teenagers or whatever, like, oh, I had this like cringy like pop punk phase where I only listened to like, you know, shitty like pop punk or whatever. My cringy phase was in middle school listening to like trance music I downloaded from Napster.
I kind of expected trance would be in your past, or like some kind of rave or something. You know, I feel like we're kind of from similar eras. If you were into video games or anime, like that was going to be it, you know.
Yeah, like I remember I would just download. I don't even know like what inspired me to find, because I don't think I knew what trance was. I don't even know what I would have been looking for at the time, but I would just end up with like crazy club tracks, basically like ambient club tracks with voices saying like little whispery things that were probably about drugs and I didn't know. But that was the kind of shit I was listening to in middle school. And then when I got into like middle school, high school, and I was doing things like band and orchestra, that's when I got into just like whatever we were doing in school. I really liked, I would get into the kind of stuff we would play in school, and
nice.
Between that and like video game music were kind of inspiring my writing style because, you know, I was getting experience from being in like orchestra and band and like kind of learning about instrumentation and stuff just from doing it, just from playing. And that's before I went to college and like actually studied composition, but like that was kind of what my childhood was like.
Love that.
Love that. Jinx. Jinx. Now, out of curiosity, your adventures into like visual art and glitching things out, did that happen later or was that kind of happening around the same time, if I may ask? And what inspired it?
It was definitely later, and I would
Okay.
say it was definitely inspired by a couple things. One of them would be video games.
Nice.
Like, we had an NES, and anyone who's had an NES knows when you try and turn it on, it takes like 100 tries to get to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, because you'll get the glitchy startup screen
Yeah.
as you're trying to get it going and stuff. And that I remember as a kid being like, this is fascinating. Because I feel like, I as I got older and observed how normal people are, I'm like, people see glitchy things and like ignore them and they tune them out or whatever. Whereas I see that, I'm like, ooh, what was that?
Yeah, that's cool.
And so, yeah, so I also, when I was a kid, we liked making home videos, like with, you know, camcorders and just running around recording stupid videos. And so I think later in life, as in like, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I started kind of like getting back into, you know, I was never like into video in any serious way, but like I was never into visual arts. I can't draw. I'm colorblind. Like, it's just not really for me. But getting into glitch art was a great way of being able to like make something cool that didn't involve like skills that I can't do. Like, I mean, I could learn to draw whatever, but I think anyone who likes drawing also has some sort of thing drawing them towards drawing.
Yeah.
Whereas I never really had the urge, but like once I could make like glitch art, I was like, oh, this is so fun. I can make all these cool things. And then getting into video art was kind of a natural progression of that once I learned how to do things like corrupt video or, you know, capture corruptions of video games that I'd made and stuff. And so, you know, I had an interest in video from as a kid, I guess, but I didn't really like get into that at all until later.
Got you. Out of curiosity, a quick follow-up where you had said that musically a lot of like what you were doing, aka bass pillows, was pretty organic. Was that the same with learning how to do a lot of the glitch art and glitch visuals, or did you follow a tutorial? Did somebody inspire you, if I may ask?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to kind of think about that a little bit. Well, I wasn't doing it as like a kid, so
Yeah,
it wasn't something
of
I
course.
had. Yeah, so the base pillow thing wouldn't work there, but
Right.
I do think
It could.
it would. It could, uh,
Sorry.
but I think it wasn't really until about the time I was like finishing college that I got into doing this for the first time. And yeah, there were tutorials for sure. I think so glitch art kind of emerged as an art form, I feel like, in the early 2010s, kind of
I would
along the
agree.
same time as
Very like
Vaporwave.
Tumblr based.
Yeah, I mean, and I think in the early days of Vaporwave, glitch art was very much a part of the Vaporwave.
Data moshing and shit.
Yeah, and so you know, we're here on Twitch. We like video games. If you know Vinesauce, they used to have this thing called the Vinesauce ROM corruptor, which is just a glorified hex editor, where you can just put in a file and just like change these things to these things and go. And then,
Ooh.
yeah, and you can do that with any file, but like, you know, you're meant to do it with like video game ROMs, and then, you know, it spits out a corrupted file that you try and run. And that was probably like the earliest ways I was getting into it. And this was like really popular for a while on YouTube. Not what I was doing, but just in general, like this was like a new fun thing people were doing with video games. And I don't really follow a lot of like gamer YouTuber types or whatever, but the ones that I do were at some point doing video game corruptions.
Nifty.
Interesting.
So that's kind of how I got into that, and I would just kind of watch them, and I made them, and like I still have like a video game corruption Discord server, which is like mostly dead, but still. Yeah, data moshing. I feel like I met a lot of people online who were like glitch artists and would make things like this. There was a guy who made the music video for the band Chairlift, Caroline Polachek's old band.
Interesting.
Oh, I know. Well,
The
I know of
Evident
them.
Utensil music video.
I'm gonna have to look this up. Admittedly, I
Not
am
seen it, but that's
oblivious.
really interesting.
Yeah, the guy who made that video made a YouTube video tutorial, which is like very old now, but it was like how to use, basically like the way you data mosh is you use video software the wrong way.
Yeah.
Fun.
And I actually made a data mosh video for a friend of mine's band just a couple years ago. So like it's still like a thing. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like as big as it was 10 years ago, but it's like you can still do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there were lots of examples of this and more I mean, like Kanye West had like a data mosh music video back then. I don't remember which song it was for, but like it's I mean, I'm getting on a tangent here, but I do feel like Vaporwave and glitch art affected like real pop music in a serious
absolutely.
way.
Totally
And I
agree.
think that's one of those things. But yeah, so in terms of like tutorial and stuff, yeah, that's kind of how I first got into it, was just like finding other glitch artists.
Got you.
So how did you find Vaporwave?
So Vaporwave was like a weird one for me because I was already a musician, so I didn't need to watch a tutorial. I feel like I did a lot more networking when it came to glitch art, but with Vaporwave, I was like, well, I'm already a musician. I just have to do something different. But I will say Vaporwave was very transformative for me because I went to school studying classical composition and learning how to write for like every instrument in the orchestra.
Amazing.
And then I went to like, I moved from, so I grew up in Texas. And then I grew,
Ooh, okay,
which I
same.
feel like I should have mentioned a long time ago.
Yeah, we'll have to talk
you're
about
from
that.
Texas
That's
too?
where I'm from as well.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get into it, but where?
Oh, I grew up in Dallas, Fort Worth, but I
Me
lived
too.
all over. No way. Wow. I lived on the
Yeah.
border, Central Texas, and even Amarillo. But wow, that's
Oh
wild.
my god.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah, so I went to UNT.
Oh, you were in Denton?
Yeah.
No way. I saw School of Seven
Yeah.
Bells and Active Child in Denton once. That's
Oh,
crazy.
That's great.
Yeah, unreal.
Where?
Bro, this was like 15 years ago. I don't know.
I was just curious because like when I talk
Some
about
dive bar.
Denton with people, they'll say something like, "Oh, I was at like J&J's Pizza, some pizza place in the basement." It's like, "Oh, I've been there."
Yeah. No, I
Um,
couldn't tell you even if I wanted to. I have one friend that still, and I know we're not here to talk about Denton, Texas. I have one friend that still lives there. She could tell me if I really wanted to know, but it was a small dive bar that would play that kind of chill wave, ghostly international adjacent music, you know?
I'm gonna make
Unreal.
one guess. Was it called Rubber Gloves?
Buddy, seriously. I have
Okay,
no
okay,
idea.
okay.
I
I
wear
said I was
my-
gonna make one guess. I'm
the
gonna give up
skinny
now.
jeans I wore that night were already way
Um,
too tight. There's no way I would fit into them now. Like, I
You-
don't remember.
You said you saw Active Child that night too?
Active Child opened for School of Seven Bells.
Okay, so according
Oh, are
to
you
this
gonna
random
Google it?
website I found called concertarchives.org, it was at a
Unreal.
place called Haley's.
Oh, I know Haley's. Okay, cool. Haley's
Okay.
bar.
That's crazy. Yeah, my friend
You're
Courtney still
welcome.
lives there. She went to the show with
Thank
us.
you, Lux.
I don't know. That's unbelievable. Nice work. Luxury lead, everybody.
I'm
Internet
nosy.
detective. No, that's cool. I mean, like, it doesn't matter, but I'm curious. Like, it's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
no, that's crazy
Uh,
that you went to UNT. Never would have guessed.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So anyway, I graduated and I went to New York. And this was 2013 when I moved to New York. So it was kind of like just as Vaporwave was like becoming, a little more known. And I'll actually preface this a little bit. I think the first time I kind of got into any internet music was just before I was like, I was house sitting for my aunt, who at the time lived in Colorado. And I was just kind of like, they were away for a month on a trip to the UK. I had a freelance job, so I was just at their place, just working from there. And I was like watering their plants and feeding their pets and, you know, just otherwise milling about. I got to do some fun stuff like visit Boulder. I went to go see They Might Be Giants in Denver.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun little month for me. But one random thing that happened was a good friend of mine from college, who I ended up moving to New York later. Shout out Ryan. He was like, so he had told me, like, he'd shared like Tricks Point Never with me when I was in college. He was the one who was like really good about getting me like pretty much all the music I got into in this type of was he's the one who put me onto it. And so Opian's old or current, I don't know, his label Software.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the artist Slava in 2013 put out an album called Raw Solutions.
I have that album.
Well, I'm gonna get here. They had a review of the album in Russian, which, you know, Slava's a Russian artist, and I think Tricks Point Never is Russian American too. Like, they were like, hey, anyone who can translate this from Russian to English, we'll send you a copy of this on vinyl. And so my friend Ryan just tagged me on Facebook. By the way, I minored in Russian in college as well.
Ooh,
This
sick.
is fascinating. Okay.
So he was just like, oh, you should do this. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm reading the review in Russian, and I'm coming across words I've never seen before. And I'm like, what is this? Beach house. And I literally opened my Russian dictionary and like thumbing through it, like Vich, and it's like not in my dictionary, obviously. And so I just Google it, and I'm like, witch house, and I'm like, that can't be it. And then eventually I'm like, oh no, that's it. I'm like, what is witch house? And I'm like looking into this stuff, and then like and I'm like, okay, so it must be witch house. I don't know what that is, but okay. And then I like move on, and I'm like, C-punk. And I'm like, what is C-punk? And I'm like Googling it. So like I learned about all these. Cool. I learned all about these translating a Russian review of Slava's Raw Solutions for OPN's label Software, and then I submitted it, and they sent me the vinyl in the mail.
That's so sick. What the fuck?
So you can speak like quasi-fluent Russian.
It's been like 15 years.
Yeah, you probably haven't had a chance to practice it, but like that's such a cool story. So did you like Witch House or C-Punk or not really?
I mean, I got into it eventually, and yeah, I was into it. In fact, actually, one of my friends from Dallas, who like I knew when I was in college, actually became a semi-prominent C-Punk person, and I didn't know because I didn't know what C-Punk.
Is it Unicorn Kid?
I don't think it's Unicorn.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google this.
Yes, please. I would like to know. I may be a C-Punk hater, but
she is a C-Punk hater.
Oh, that's unfortunate. This is is this an open book interview, right?
Sure.
Yeah, LMAO. There's one like, is it Little Internet?
I don't think his name's Greg Butler.
Yeah, Greg Butler. Okay. Lux will find it in like moments.
Yeah, please.
Let's see.
He's also gone by Shelby, but it's Shelby Tunes. Oh, it's like Under Meadow, but spelled with a bunch of crazy characters.
Oh, imagine that.
Like V and D, like Sigma.
Bro, you thought
E.
Vaporwave was impossible to Google? Try looking up Witch House and C-Punk artists. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Like, we don't want anyone to buy our music. They can't find us.
Well, that used to be what early Vaporwave was all about too. It borrowed all those tropes as well. I kind of miss those days because it was very fun because like you just had to know.
True. That's fair. I shouldn't be as much of a hater of C-Punk, but it's just like, I don't know, the people that coined it were pretentious assholes. And they were like, we're going to steal this term from somebody on Twitter and we're going to make it our identity. What's the music? We don't fucking know.
No love for
we know
Ultra
that we
Demon,
like
eh?
Blue, we like Sea-Doo, we like Dolphins, we like Hackers. Like fucking cool, but what are
like
you
Enya.
musically? Fuck if I know. That's
I mean,
just
I'll be
what
real
got on
with
my
you.
nerves.
I don't really know much about C-Punk. I just know I have one friend who made it and became semi-popular, and I don't really know a lot of C-Punk, so I'm just
That
joking
is
with
fair. That is
Some
fair.
of it's good. Like some of Ultra Demon stuff isn't bad, but a lot of it is pretty forgettable. Is what you
Yeah.
know.
I'll-
Oh well.
When I was first like on my Google rabbit hole for getting into Vaporwave, I discovered a label called Vapor Babes, which was
Oh, yeah.
more, I would say, in the C-Punk direction.
Mm-hmm. They were doing a little bit of everything on that label for sure.
Like artists like Xyloid. was
Yeah.
I
really into
love
that.
Xyloid. Okay, if you want to file
Xyloid.
Xyloid under C-Punk, Xyloid is terrific. They make terrific music, in my opinion. Now, Splash Club 7, whatever, like, but Xyloid, sorry if anyone here is a fan or friend of Splash Club 7, but like Xyloid, you need to check out because they're damn good, and it doesn't sound like the rest of C-Punk. You know, the best C-Punk sounds like David Wise composed it. Clip that, because it does. And the bad C-Punk is just bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be right
But,
back.
Got you. Yeah, I shouldn't be as much of a hater as I am, but it's fine. But no, I'm
No,
sorry.
It's
You
hot
were-
takes. Hate all you want.
That is true. That is fair. Yes, that is true. So I did not mean to totally cut you off. So, as you were discovering Beach House and C-Punk, how did you end up discovering Vaporwave? Like, what was the first? Well, you found Vapor Babes, which very
Yeah.
short-lived. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Did you happen to find anything else? Like,
Yeah.
what was your first artist where you were like, oh shit, this is nice?
Yeah, I'm kind of jumping all over the timeline a little bit, but yeah,
Like,
basically
shit, I want to hear
after
this.
basically after I moved to New York, you know, this was after doing the Russian interview, not the interview, the Russian review of
Transcribing.
the album
Review.
that I translated. Yeah. After I did this is after that, and when I'm in New York, I don't really remember exactly how I heard about Vaporwave. Maybe my friend Ryan also told me about that. But I do remember going into like the subreddit for Vaporwave, and I remember reading that like image that had kind of like the Vaporwave mantra that was just like endless escalators, drugged up and drugged down and all that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, capitalism.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Capitalism cryogenically frozen. Or
My
some
hot
shit.
take
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
I never really liked the Vaporwave Reddit. I was never a Vaporwave Reddit person. I'm so sorry. So I just kind
I
of
don't like
avoided
Reddit. I don't like Reddit at all. I'm just saying that that's where. Well, I mean, look, I think I had a difficult time getting into Vaporwave because I don't like Reddit, and also it's not just Reddit. It's the more dislikable sites like 4chan and things like that, where
Yeah.
people were spreading all this music. I mean, I don't want to like jump the gun again and jump all over the timeline here, but like I have a friend who eventually let me know that my music was being talked about on 4chan, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of scary whenever Vaporwave was discovered by 4chan. I still kind of peruse it, not very much. I just at least liked getting leaks from 4chan because they usually hosted leaks. But as soon as I saw Floral Shop get posted, I was like, well, gotta go. Not going there anymore because I
LMAO.
knew exactly what was going to happen, and a lot of us got doxxed. But
Oh,
sorry,
God.
continue. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, so basically, I guess I didn't hang out in the Vaporwave subreddit, but it's where I like read about it existing basically. And then I started to like find music recommendations, and I was listening to, I don't really remember all what, but you know, whatever was happening at the time. But eventually I came across an artist that you may know about called Vincent Remember.
Oh yeah, we love that guy.
Yeah.
That's
Super
crazy.
nice guy. Yeah, well, the only reason that I remember him more than the others is because when I downloaded all his music off Bandcamp to listen to, he actually emailed me and said, hey dude, thanks for checking out the music. And I was like, you know, he probably just sends anyone that email, but I was just like, oh yeah, sure, thanks, I'm just getting in the Vaporwave and checking it out. And he was like, yeah, man, that's really cool. Like, I really want to like show this to the world, like people, things like Vaporwave and MallSoft. And I was just like, what's MallSoft? And so,
Nice.
and which, you know, inevitably sent me down another rabbit hole.
Yes.
And I remember going to like the MallSoft subreddit and reading their about page and getting into that. And that's when I started kind of like getting into the idea of making my own Vaporwave as groceries.
Interesting.
Too cool.
I didn't even know that they had a MallSoft Reddit. I'm learning something new today. Was it active?
Yeah, I didn't either.
I think it might have been at the time. I think it's completely dead now, but which is
R.I.P.
appropriate. But I mean, dead mall subreddit.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
What was
yeah, so
like? How
that's
did
how
you
I
end
got
up doing? How did you end up translating that into groceries? What I'm guessing that was basically the steps of like, oh, MallSoft, let's do groceries. How did that come about?
Yeah, so basically, so at the time, so my friend Ryan, who I've been mentioning, who was my roommate when I first moved to New York, he was also doing his own like electronic music production journey, not Vaporwave, but you know, he was also, I moved to New York with like 3 other musicians, so like, and 2 of them were from my composition program, so we were all doing our own things. He eventually was getting into like promoting shows and things. Like he was very ready to get into electronic music, whereas I studied classical music and was like, I like electronic music, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have the compositional skills, but I don't know how to produce. Like I don't know how to use like a filter or whatever.
Fair.
But anyway, he was saying, you know, we should make like a drone project together. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. That'd be a cool thing to do. And this is the sort of thing he would do, is like, we should do this, and then it would never happen. But like he would say, I'm gonna put a sheet of paper in the living room. Anytime you think of an idea for like our artist name, just write it down and we'll like eventually pick one from the list, and that'll be like our artist name or whatever. And I remember, like, you know, we'd written whatever things, and my dad once called me and was telling me about a business trip he was on. Like, you know, he's like, at the time he was doing like computer sales and stuff, and he was telling me about how he was at a business conference and they had like a DJ. He was calling me because he like thought of me, because he was at this business conference and there was a person who was kind of like DJing in like a central area, like between like where all the seminars were happening. And I was like, okay. And I'm like trying to envision this, and I'm like thinking of like a guy who's just playing music for a bunch of businessmen walking from one place to another. And I'm like, what kind of music would a DJ be playing for these people in this space? And so he was just saying how like they had music playing in the background behind all this, and I was like a grocery store? Like, I didn't get it. And I remember after that call, I went and wrote on the paper just groceries. And I told my buddy Ryan, I was like, oh yeah, I had this idea for groceries. And he was like, I like that name. I don't think it's like a name for this, but I think someone should use that because it's a cool name. And it had like the one that is like, it's kind of unique because it's like, it's a plural word. It's not like a singular thing. Like he was getting all into it. I was like, yeah, I think it's cool. And then we never did it. We never did anything with this. But when I got into MallSoft and was reading about MallSoft, you know, I was thinking of like, how can I make this my own thing? And, you know, Vaporwave, like I was saying, was all like, you know, weird Unicode characters and Japanese and all caps letters and everything, you know, like something all caps and some kanji or whatever. And I thought, I'm going to make this my own thing. I'm going to use Korean instead of Japanese. I'm going to do all lowercase.
Nice.
And, you know, I'm going to make this, instead of a mall, be about like a big grocery store. And I'm going to replace like the palm trees with like, you know, shopping carts. I'm going to replace like the clothes with like cereal. And, you know.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah, so that was kind of my way of making it my own.
That's too cool. Let me ask, as a music fan, what is your go-to, like, happy music, sad music? Maybe you want to listen to some angry music. Like, what do you go for as a music fan?
Like if I'm in a certain mood and I want to like listen to something
Sure.
like
Or
that.
you want to be into that mood. You know, let's say you're really happy and you want something to accentuate, or you want to wallow in your sadness. What do you put on? Do you do that at all?
I don't. I think I spent too much time studying music that like to use music in that way feels odd to me.
So that's I love that because you know the nuts and bolts behind the music. The last artist we had on, Ango, is a music he composes for TV shows, so he does like little there was a word for it. I don't remember what it's called, but they're like mini songs, you know, that just play like to evoke an emotion, because that's how music is typically used, obviously, in TV and movies.
Yeah.
It's just like you're supposed to feel confrontational. You're supposed to feel spooked out. So like music being evocative, like in an emotional way, is like just kind of second nature to him. But you don't have that. Like you just think of it in terms of like the science behind it, huh?
I mean, I get it, because I do think like music is used in that way for film and TV, and I do think maybe when I was younger I was like, no, that's stupid. I don't like that. Music should be like more, it's like music shouldn't be a tool to be like used and discarded. Music should be like,
oh, I get
this,
that. Yeah.
Like,
kind of
like a little too pretentious, a little too noble or whatever. But like, it's true that like, yeah, it's very easy, especially in like, you know, when something sounds wrong too, if you're trying to evoke a certain emotion and you're like, that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it totally like, and I think I've gotten more comfortable with that as time has gone on. Like when I was like a younger composition student, I didn't like the idea of working with like the voice. I didn't want to work with like opera or songs or choirs or really anything like that. But I found toward the end of my time in composition school that actually I really liked it, because I felt like the words that I could set to music kind of set themselves. Like if I just like, I have like a phrase or a mood or an idea, I found myself not only being able to like write a like some kind of like melodic figure to go over it, like the words like really inspired where it would go. I found myself also not just doing like, you know, I guess if you want to just sit down and like jam on a keyboard, it's easy to use like major chords, minor chords, and you know, try and stick into like traditional harmony or something. But I found that when I was working with words, I was way more chromatic and trying to kind of going all over the place melodically. And it was like not sticking in like one tonal center. It was kind of migrating all over the place. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is like I kind of like combination of got over myself, but also like kind of like matured and like understood that like, you know, music can be more than just, you know, what I was doing with it. And I think getting into Vaporwave really pushed me out of my comfort zone, actually, because I was thinking about composition as like a very high level thing where I'm like, now if I'm trying to make Vaporwave, I'm like, I'm gonna use like other people's music and I'm gonna like rip it from YouTube.
Hell
and
yeah.
It's not gonna be like, you know, like a studio, like I was too concerned with like high fidelity, and I was just like, and I'm just gonna like rip it off YouTube, like,
right, it's not even gonna be lossless.
And then I'm gonna like
Transcoded.
and I'm gonna pull it into like a Audacity or like a cracked version of Fruity Loops. Like, this feels disgusting.
Hilarious.
uh
I love that.
But like it really
thing is crazy.
We really are a melting pot.
it just really like pushed me out of my comfort zone and into a way where I was just like, wait, instead of like getting all caught up on all this, like it has to be like very clean and polished and like very intentional, it pushed me into a space where I could be like, I'm not going to think about anything but what I'm hearing, and I'm just going to knock down all the barriers of like what something should sound like, and it was very liberating as an artist to just work purely with sounds and not just like trying to compose an original thing, but instead to curate a feeling. And that was like a very new idea for me, and it was very rewarding for me at the time.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Aww.
That's terrific.
What would you say is your proudest moment as Groceries, if I may ask? Do you have like a song that you look back on, you're like, holy shit, that was really great? Or like an album that really resonates with you that you have really good memories on? Like, do you have a top memory?
I think so, because my first 2 Groceries albums were like pretty much entirely sample based, but my third album, Ascension, was all original music. And at the time I was just like, I have a degree in composition. I think I could put that to use here. Like, because when I was a kid, I was very into making like sequenced MIDI tracks. Like I was like in the piano roll as a kid,
Nice.
like composing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but like so eventually I was like, I could, like, you know, I was making like cheesy MIDI things or whatever, and then I went to school and I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. But then I was like, oh, I can absolutely do this shit now.
Yes, you can.
Like, instead of like trying to shy away from things that sound like cheesy MIDI or bad video game music, I'm like, okay, well, I have the technical skills and I have a little bit more production skills and I have the composition skills. I can do this. And this keyboard right here is the keyboard I used to make Ascension, which I've had since I was like a kid. And I would just like would sequence all these MIDI files, and then I just with my friend Mike, who's like the person who has like pretty much worked on like all of my stuff, just about. We recorded the sound from the keyboard, and then I took it back and then like chopped it up and messed with it more. And I think he would say that that's my best. I think it was his favorite. I think he enjoyed working on it, and I enjoyed working on it with him. And you know, I love all my albums, and I love my 4th album a lot. But I think that one was just like, it was like at the time was like, I feel like for me it was like my Vaporwave peak was like composing all of this music and recording it with him, and like I just really felt like the most like elevated at the time in my like production and composition and stuff, and that was like a new level for me.
Nice. That's important.
And I think
man.
I've seen, yeah, and I think I've even seen people, because people don't understand, people think like that's also all sample material, and I've seen people say things like, oh, this one's gotta be from like Mario Kart, and I was like, oh, that's so cool you think that, but I wrote it.
Hilarious.
Thank you.
Love that. So how do you know when a song grabs you?
Ooh.
Like another song, or like my
As
song?
a music fan, when you're listening to music and you don't know if you like it or not, like what are things that you look for that are like, all right, I have decided that I like this song. I want to listen to more of this album. I want to listen to more of this artist. Have you noticed any patterns?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is I am really bad at listening to something and forming an opinion immediately.
Same.
I find that those things stick out to me only on my like 3rd or 4th or even 5th listen.
Okay, wow.
Which I think is like somewhat normal. Like I do think maybe I have an issue with like really like focusing in and like listening to things sometimes, but I also think that like it takes a time for something to grow and develop with you. And I think, you know, I'm used to, from my, you know, college years, like listening to a piece of music and scrutinizing it and analyzing it over and over again. And so I don't know, I feel like sometimes when I listen to an album, the first time I may have had my fingers in my ears going la 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 the whole time.
Yeah. Or you were distracted or something.
Yeah, it's like after I listen to something like the 3rd time, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is the one. Oh, it's got that cool like drum line, the drum part that's like really cool, or like, oh, that vocal sample is like really cool. Like it's like the things that like stick out to you, where it's just like, oh, that bass line is really sick. Like it could be any component of a song, but it's like it's got a little something cool in it. Like it takes a little bit of time, but eventually like I'm like, oh, I noticed that, and now I that's the thing that sticks out to me forever now.
I like that. I'm just literally typing in chat. I always listen to everything at least twice before I decide if I like it or not. Even if I'm completely turned off the first time around, this might be my compulsion, but I force myself to listen to it again just in case. Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset. Now, 3 or 4 times, that's hardcore.
Well,
I agree.
You can keep listening to it if you like it.
That is fair. That is fair. See, I used to listen to albums a lot more often, but I don't know. I guess it's because my brain is like, oh, I have to catch up with everything I've missed whenever I was offline.
There is
for a
so
few
much.
years. So it's like my brain is like, oh, I'll listen to this album, and then like sometimes I'll go back to it. Sometimes it's like a long time before I go back to it, and I'm like, I kind of need to get out of that and like, I don't know, listen to more of my favorite albums more often. I did once upon a time listen to an album like 4 times before I liked it. I actually hated it, and I kept challenging myself. I was like, okay,
I've had that too.
yes. What was your album, if I may ask? May I be nosy?
Yeah, it wasn't one album. It was just Dan Deacon.
Oh, okay, that's
Dan
fair.
Deacon
When I first listened to Dan Deacon, I was like,
those.
no.
Have you ever seen him live?
Yes. I
People
saw him
lose
in
their
Prospect
shit.
Park, and yes,
Dude, I had a pair of glasses fall on the ground during Dan Deacon, and I was like, all right. And this was like a decade ago. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm too old for this shit. People love fucking Dan Deacon.
Yeah, and I think Dan Deacon draws out a particular type of crowd too. Like when I saw Dan Deacon with my buddy Ryan in Prospect Park in Brooklyn,
Shout out Ryan.
Shout out Ryan for real. Like, go check him out. He's making music again. He was kind of off it for a while, but he produces now as Josh Coffee. Go check him out. But anyway, we were at we went to see Dan Deacon. At the end of the show, we're getting ready to just walk, and we're all standing because it's out in like Prospect Park. And this dude goes, "Oh man!" and then like takes the water and completely misses his mouth and just spills it all over my. I just hit my mic. Sorry. It just spills it all over my friend. And he was like, "What the?"
No, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh!
And
Oh, that's so funny.
On the bright side, the vibes at Dan Deacon are typically pretty good. I don't think people will like fight somebody at a Dan Deacon show.
Oh no.
Unless they just don't know what they're there for,
They're too far gone to consider like physical violence. I think they're just on another plane. But
True.
I was just like, I don't understand. This music is crazy. And then one day I just got it, and I was like, this is amazing.
It's wacky.
I don't know why I didn't like this at first, but I just fell in love.
So I saw Dan Deacon.
Had to break through.
Yeah.
I saw him live before I listened to his studio recordings. So like I have the the album with like Crystal Cat and Pink Batman, like the one that everyone liked. And
Is that
like
Spider-Man of the Rings?
Yeah, Spider-Man of the Rings. I remember seeing him live and being like, this guy fucks. And this is when I was young and didn't really like drink a lot, so I was sober, thinking that this guy fucked. And then I got the album, and it's like good, but like it's not the same as like live. Like there's some artists, man, that are like better when you listen to their studio recordings. But then there's some like you see him live, and then you listen to the album later on, and you're like, man, I don't know, what did I see in that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just a fact, like. I know everyone here has seen an artist live and like changed their mind about whether they liked them or not once they like had the sit down experience,
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference between a polished studio recording, because that's like the task speed run. That's the one where you can actually sit and calculate every aspect of it before you send it out into the world. The live performing is a completely different animal.
It is.
And I can imagine, because Dan Deacon's setup is crazy. He's got wires going everywhere. He's got all sorts of shit. He's like dancing all over the stage. Like if that's your first impression, you would absolutely eat that up, because he's like just all mind blowing. Like it's cool. But just sitting and listening to it and all the crazy like beeps and boops, and I'm just like, what? What is this vocal filter? This is stupid.
That's hilarious. Yeah, definitely better live.
Well, I think his studio albums are great too, but when I did see him live, that was also, I mean, I already kind of like it had clicked by then, but when I saw him, I was just like, oh yeah, okay, I see what's going on here. This guy's just a madman.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad he's still doing his thing.
Same.
So, how important would you say album artwork is to you?
It's pretty important to me. I think, I think like anytime, because I have like when I was in high school, I had like a CD collection. I still have it, but I don't have it like with me now. But I don't know. I think album artwork is really important, and I like having a companion to something. And like all of my albums, I always like think a lot about the album artwork. And I still have that kind of like CD or like vinyl mindset where like all of my albums on Bandcamp have a front and back cover.
Nice.
I don't just
That's
do
cool.
a front cover.
It's like you're
I
making
never
a
do
CD.
just one. Yeah.
And it's in the zip file when you buy it, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
Good.
That's awesome.
Hell
That is
yeah.
awesome.
Agreed.
Let's we'll fast forward a little bit since I know that we are getting closer to 9:30 and interview or like chat questions time.
Been yapping too much.
No, it's a
No,
good thing.
no such
I'm
thing.
glad. Yes, I am thrilled that we have been chatting about so much. But like, what made you decide to start up your label, if I may ask?
Oh yeah, so I have a label called Consumer Electronics, and honestly, I think it's something I should have done 10 years ago, because that's when I was like, the thing is I had the thought, but I didn't have the means. Like, I was in my 20s, I was just like very insecure financially. And I just didn't have like the time, money, or mental space to get into that. And so now that I'm like in a better position, I was like, I'm finally going to do what I feel like I should have done a long time ago, because I've got groceries, I've got JPEG stripes, I've got Null Object. I'm going to put this all under one umbrella, because also I feel like people don't necessarily know all my different artist aliases.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
fair.
just want to kind of put them all under one roof. And I just wanted everything, kind of centralize it a bit, and also like feel like I was like being adult about handling my finances properly and all funneling it under one convenient channel.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's kind of the inspiration behind it. And yeah, I just wanted to do something cool like that. I don't want to just limit it to me, but I thought that the easiest thing to do would be to re-release my back catalog through it, and also use it as a way of like getting it on like streaming distribution, and you know, getting it on Apple Music and Spotify, and you know, all those.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I still love Bandcamp, but you know, unfortunately, the average person you talk to doesn't know what Bandcamp is.
That's true. It's unbelievable.
Sadly, it's
Yeah.
sadly the case.
I mean, I love Bandcamp always and forever. I wouldn't be here without Bandcamp. Bandcamp actually literally saved my life. It's like, that was how I was, you know, making all my money from music and stuff. And I've still not gotten a cent from streaming, but people don't know what Bandcamp is. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
you ain't wrong.
But that's what I love about the Vaporwave community, is just how dedicated they are to going to where the music is.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. Most people are actually, well, like,
Well, you got to
It's
remember,
hard to
most
say
people were
with,
going
like-
to Tumblrs and downloading zip files
Yeah.
on MediaFire.
Oh, yeah.
Or like
I mean-
Facebook message threads.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
or,
Bandcamp
yeah.
absolutely like filled a need. People were just like, I don't understand where to get music unless it's like some like weird illicit means, and like, you know, this was like post like the
This is like
Napster getting shut
pre-streaming
down.
too.
Yeah, it was like a weird
Yeah.
middle
I know.
ground. People were just like, I don't know where to get it, and it was still at a time where people were using, you know, iPods and things where people wanted the files to put it on their device and
Yep.
everything. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without starting shit, not trying to start shit, did you have any issues with getting your stuff like to be released through consumer electronics and through streaming? Did you have any fighting with a previous label?
Damn,
Or no?
my
son.
music wasn't on a label.
it
Well,
wasn't?
okay.
I
Yes,
was
we're
about to
open
say.
and yes, we're open and Housewares were both released through Dream Catalog, and
That.
at some point there was that purge when David like deleted like half the catalog or whatever,
Yeah.
and the catalog of Dream Catalog, yeah. And yeah, I was just one of those people who just kind of woke up one morning like, hey, my music's gone. What happened? And I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, should I be mad? I don't know what to do. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise in two ways. One was I just put it up on my Bandcamp, and suddenly I'm making money because people are buying it from me. And I was like, this is much better. I mean, I wouldn't be known probably without Dream Catalog, but then I was able to just bring that directly to me, and I'm like, hey, I like that. And then, you know, I come to find that, you know, when Dream Catalog started to kind of go by the wayside and was kind of falling apart because of all the schisms happening in Vaporwave in like 2016, 2017, that's when I would talk to other artists like, you know, James from DDS or, you know, Vape or, you know, like, and they would say how like they didn't want to be associated with Dream Catalog anymore, and they had to like beg and plead and threaten to get their music pulled from their Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So I guess I was like, I guess I got lucky and I didn't have to do any of that because now I just get to just
Unreal.
So basically, ever since Yes We're Open and Housewares got pulled, none of my music has been released on a label.
Got you. See, that was I missed a lot of it because my graphics card died literally as like mid 2016 was going on, so I had heard like mutters of it. I knew that some things had been taken down, but some were like they were holding on to it for dear life, and I didn't know which category you were in. Admittedly, hell, I just found out recently because somebody asked me about it that my side of Intercontinental was still up. I thought all of it was taken down because Syllabus requested that it was all taken down in that big, not even the purge, the ranking
Yikes.
incident. The ranking. Do you remember the ranking incident?
I'm not sure I do. What was this?
Dream Catalog decided one day to rank all of their albums by which ones David liked the most. And
I don't want to know.
Yeah, it was a mess. That happened kind of, I think, a few months before the purge, if I have the timelines correct. And it caused a lot of people to get pissed off, and they were like, "Okay, we want our albums taken down." So
Damn.
I thought Intercontinental was entirely taken down, and then I discovered as I was showing somebody like the screenshot because they were like, "That happened." I was like, "Yeah, it did. I'm not making it up." And I discovered that my side of Intercontinental was still up, and I had no idea until like a month ago. So
yeah, you know what never pisses people off is arbitrarily ranking music in a quantitative way. No one ever gets mad about that.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's subjective. Come on. Yeah. What is this, Anthony Fantano?
It was a very messy situation. I think he just really wanted to piss as many people off as possible, and he did it. Good job.
Well, yeah, that was the kind of shit he was on in 2016, was just intentionally pissing people off, and it was sad because this was a thing I was thinking about before we started. This was that like I was a little early, like I was like not early in Vaporwave, but I was like, you know, 2013, 2014 is when I got into it, which I think for a lot of people who are here now may have gotten into it in like 2016, 2017, 2018 later. Yeah. I felt like a lot of people are coming to Vaporwave now, and there's a big Discord community. There's a lot of people. It's easy to make friends and stuff, which is cool. But all of my Vaporwave colleagues and friends and people I was messaging with were people like David, people like Chungking Mansions, people like Wolfenstein OSX, and Ozcob, and they all turned out to be right-wing weirdos.
Chungking Mansions is a right-winger? Aww.
Kind of. It went down like the hard vapor bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like... Yeah, so unfortunately, pretty much everyone I was talking to who seemed completely normal and friendly and nice at the time eventually became like a huge right-wing weirdo. And so I was kind of just like, well, I'm not that. I don't want to associate with that. And found myself without really any friends in Vaporwave. And I felt kind of isolated for a while.
No.
Well, I mean, it's just the way it was. I mean, there were lots of new faces and people discovering Vaporwave for the first time. And I was just like, I don't know like where I fit now, because I don't know if people... It's weird. I think the worst thing Bandcamp did for me was convince me that I was like a famous person, because I thought like, oh, everyone knows what this is. And then like George Clanton would get popular, and I used to go to his shows in Brooklyn all the time, and I would like see him and talk to him, and like eventually like we knew each other because I would go to his shows, so like he knew who I was. And then I would be in the audience, and you know, Vaporwave people would be like, "Oh, so you listen to Vaporwave?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Nice.
and they'd be, And they'd
If
be
only
like,
they knew.
and they'd be like, "Do you make it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, cool. Like, what's your artist name?" And I'd be like, "Groceries." And they'd be like, "I'll have to look it up." And I'm like,
Right. Damn.
Oh,
Yeah, I
missing
mean,
out.
it's weird. I have no way of gauging. Like, do people know this or do they not? Because I feel like sometimes people do, and then a lot of people don't. And I'm just like, I have no grasp of this.
Yep, it's weird.
But yeah.
Well, it's either feast or famine. We need to open the pit up to audience submitted questions. We've only got 27 minutes left, so y'all fill that junt up with questions for groceries. And while you do,
please.
I want to get a follow-up question in about album artwork. What are some of your favorite examples of good album artwork?
Ooh.
Or just ones that you like? Let's get the subjective response.
Ones that I like. I think the only way I can do this is just name ones I like. Do you know Faulty DL?
Yes.
Yes.
He has some good artwork. The one that has oh god, I'm gonna Google.
Nice.
So help me God, I'm gonna Google.
I prefer DuckDuckGo. I'm just kidding.
That's fair. That's another search engine.
It's
Hard
the search
Courage.
engine
I
of
love
all
that
time.
cover.
Hard Current
Faulty
by
DL.
Faulty DL. I'm gonna look that up
Hard
right now.
Courage.
Hard
Courage.
Courage.
Yeah, one word. It's great. I love that one.
Ooh, yeah, that's a beautiful album cover. Yeah, that would make for a great
I feel like
tattoo.
I feel like this is a Lux album cover.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
I can see it.
Ooh, hold the front door.
Yeah, that would make for a terrific
Hello. Oh,
That's
that's
a
so
great-
pretty.
I like. Do you know the Japanese artist Cornelius?
Yes. Luxury
He has
Noise.
great album
Cornelius mentioned.
Oh man.
Yeah, we were just
I
talking
remember-
about Cornelius the other day.
Ugh, Cornelius is so good. I remember in high school I went to a record store and I happened to find Cornelius CDs and I was like so excited. And someone, you know,
I have
like
a
the
couple
dividers.
myself. Yep.
Yeah, you know the dividers between all the artists. They'd be like Cornelius, and they'd written like the best musician in Japan right
Oh,
now,
that's
and I was
great.
just like, oh my.
Cornelius
I was
is a
so
lot of
into
fun.
it. Yeah, Cornelius is so good.
So we have a
Cover.
backlog of questions already, but yes, which Cornelius album cover are you the most like?
I like all
In
of them,
love
but
with.
Sensuous is a pretty strong one.
All right, I'm gonna have to look this up. Looking.
Yeah,
It's like a
dude.
drippy. Yeah.
Ooh, that is very pretty. I like that.
So-
I'm gonna look
first
at it myself.
question that we
Oh,
got
so
in
nice.
chat. The first real question, besides favorite food to buy at the grocery store. Thanks,
Oh my
Roche
God.
Corp. Zartet wants to know, what is one production or composition technique that you consider to be a signature?
For groceries, I assume.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. Is it too obvious to be like, oh, you know, filter out the highs and lows and throw reverb on it? Yeah, I mean, honestly, just I know reverb and delay are like obvious things, but I think it's something that I use in like every track and every performance. I have like a control service would just like turn it up, you know. Because like I would especially in Yes We're Open, I would like, you know, really ramp up the reverb amount and the delay and use that in the transitions between songs to kind of like make this like enormous cloud that kind of fades into another enormous cloud that then kind of like dissipates and actually forms like a coherent structure and you realize what's happening. And the last track on Yes We're Open, the Checkout, like Have a Nice Day one, literally ends by me turning up the reverb and delay to the max and then just waiting to see what happens and then just kind of like dropping the volume of the input and then letting that just become a chaotic cloud and then just slowly fade out.
I like to end DJ sets like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Very like
Actually,
hypnagogic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that kind of vibe. I think a friend of mine actually showed me in Ableton. There was like, I don't remember the effect, but it was like basically all of those things at once.
Ooh.
It just kind of like, you just turn one knob, and as you turn it up, it pulls out the low end and then turns up the reverb and delay. And it's just like instant like space mode.
That's nifty as fuck. I like that.
Same.
Ted, great question, buddy. Make Mistakes has a good one. What was your first electronic music gear? And do you still have it?
That? That keyword? Let me think. I mean, maybe that keyword, honestly.
Wow.
Love that. I think I had this in high school.
For those listening on podcast, he's just pointing directly behind him at a keyboard that's clearly against the wall.
Literally just a shitty old Casio.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, sorry for the audio only listeners. But yes. I mean, here's the weird thing. I'm not a gearhead, really. I've never been like a big like gear person. I do everything in DAW. I do love synths and stuff, but they're pretty much all VSTs. I do have a Korg MS-20 Mini, which I did use on a Null Object album, but I think, so I'm not gonna make this long, but when I was in video art, I started using like software like Maxim SP and Jitter, and when eventually I downgraded, quote unquote, into like all analog, and that's when I, if you know anything about my video art, you probably know I do like a lot of VHS stuff and circuit bent video processing and VCRs, camcorders, and things. And
love it.
So I have a lot of analog video gear. I have like camcorders and title makers.
I didn't know
and
that
mixers.
Actually.
Yeah.
So I have visuals too.
Oh yeah, I mean pretty much any Vaporwave set I've ever done, I made the music and the visuals. And when I performed at ElectroniCON 3, I also did music and visuals together live.
That was so fun to watch in action. I've really had a blast watching that set, and everybody around me was just like giggling at like all of the crazy pitching that you were doing in the middle of the songs, like the pitching down and the pitching up. Like I was around people who were just like hysterically laughing at it. It was the best way to end the night for sure.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, because I had so many people who were friends who were just like, I got tired, I had to cut it, I couldn't make it to your set. I'm like, damn, did anyone make it out?
Closing is tough.
I'm so glad you got to see it. I'm so glad.
I did, yes.
I remember the days when the headliner ended the show. Not anymore.
Yeah, it's like everybody's like, by the time it's 6 o'clock, okay, we're tired. I think we're going to dip around 8. It's like, no, stay.
I think for the purposes of ElectroniCon, I was nowhere near the headliner. In fact, I was a replacement. I was brought on. I was brought on in ElectroniCon 3 because Telepath had to drop out.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's some lore I've not heard.
Yeah, like I don't want to like, I don't want to get too spicy here, but I was invited to play ElectroniCon 2. And I declined because I was living in Korea at the time and didn't think it would make sense for me to fly back for one weekend and then fly right back. It would just wipe me. And George was like, okay, we'll get you on ElectroniCon 3. And I was like, cool. But it was also like COVID, so I was like, when is that happening? And like, well, we have no plans of it now. And then eventually ElectroniCon 3 got announced, and I didn't know anything about it. And then for months I was just like, am I gonna be asked to do this? And then I started to kind of like eventually like kind of create a little storm on Twitter to be like, hey guys, like let me know, like let them know if you want me to play Econ 3, let's go. And it was completely ignored until eventually I got an email that was just like, hey, like we need someone, like do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah.
Did they really ask in that way? Like, oh, we need somebody? Did they?
Well, they didn't really phrase it like that, but like
okay,
I knew what happened.
All right.
Yeah, I
was
remember
gonna
that.
be like, what the fuck? That's rude. That's
no,
not
they
very
weren't rude about it.
Okay,
It's actually kind of funny because the person who emailed me is now the person who runs music website. One of the two people who run music website.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Which I've worked with since, and like we're buddies. Like it's a small world.
Yeah. Well, you guys are kind of close to each other, like physically as well.
That too. Yeah.
At least I believe.
I love being in New York.
So, Ed Junior Morpheus 95 wants to know: have you played the new Deltarune chapters? Wants to know what
Yes.
you think about Mr. Antenna.
That person's obsessed with Antenna.
I know.
I like Antenna. It's TV time.
I've actually
mean,
not
much
played
about-
Undertale or Deltarune. I know that Undertale's really good. I do love JRPGs quite a bit. Like I could talk with you about JRPGs for ages, I'm sure, but I've not played Undertale, and I know that I'm missing out someday.
You are. I will say that I didn't play Undertale until like 2021 or whatever. So I was kind of late to it, but it became my favorite game.
Are you a
like,
fan
all
of
time.
Mother or Earthbound?
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't really play Earthbound until I actually played Earthbound after learning that it inspired Undertale. And I played through it, and it was good. I will say, I think because it was on the Super Nintendo, and it was at a time when like video games were like still kind of new. There's
Yep.
definitely some like crust. There's some like I don't know how I'm supposed to know what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Oh, dude, that continued through the PS1 era. I'm playing through all the
yeah.
PS1 JRPGs that like I never played growing up right now, and my God, they don't tell you where to go or do any. Granted, games are hot take kind of too easy these days. But like, man, you just like never know
yes.
where you're supposed. I'm like, okay, cool. It doesn't. I'll just talk to every single person I have ever interacted with, so that I can
Yeah.
figure out what to do next in this goddamn game.
It's true. And have you seen this like recent meme of trope of like making old games sound like modern games where there's like too much talking and too much hand holding and like there's this like
Yeah.
Link, go over there and collect the gold skulltula.
Here's your destination. If you follow that little icon, you'll know exactly where to go. Also, if you die, it's okay. Just reload, and all your items will be. You'll actually get double the items.
You
Yep,
can
it,
actually
you
skip
know,
this
is what it
boss
is.
fight.
Yeah, is what it is. Hey, man. I mean, we're here to play games and have fun, right? There's no right or wrong way, but boy, times have changed.
They have. But yes, I love Undertale. It's one of my favorite games.
I'll have to play it at some point.
I don't want to be annoying because I know the fan base can be super annoying. I've brought up Vinesauce on this, this conversation, and Vinny from Vinesauce has famously not played it because the audience is too annoying for him, and he doesn't want to have them yelling at him like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. I will say I have pushed friends of mine into playing Undertale, but I just sit and watch and don't say anything.
Nice.
Because I just want to see what they're gonna. That's the fun, is seeing like what would you do in this situation. Because I know what I did. I was confused by this, and everyone I watch play it does something completely different, and I'm just like, this is so cool.
I'm gonna have to do it at some point. That and
I love
and the
watching
Persona
people
games. I haven't
play it.
played any of the Persona games.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem a little too weeby for me, but I don't know. Maybe one day.
I'm not an anime guy.
Yeah, I respect anime, but like I don't want to play anime the game. You know,
Oh god.
like
yeah,
the Tales games are enough. Like they're already kind of like, like I don't know. It's not for me.
No. Yeah. I when I look at the anime art style, I can feel my eyes glazing over. I'm just like, no.
It's. I don't want to
I
miss
feel
all those
it.
good stories, though. You know.
Like, I
All right,
don't
we
wanna
better
be like
move
a-
on because people think
Yeah.
we're being hateful. Shiny Crystal Pistol.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. What inspired
It's
you?
fun.
My hot take.
I'm just saying. I'm
So
used to
fun.
being hateful, so my bad.
My
What
hot
inspired?
take, anime is garbage unless it's Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I like Satoshi Kon. But
I haven't seen a lot of anime, so I'm sure there's
Yeah.
something out there I would
you're
like.
not missing. There's too much. Shiny Crystal Pistol wants to know what inspired you breaking out the drill for your last Flamingo Fest set.
I was using my company's product during our set, and we actually demo it with a drill because it actually people respond to that. They're like, "What the hell?" Like
That's cool.
And so I thought it would be cool to integrate it into my set. Basically, with the product has inductors that are sensing electromagnetic frequencies, and I was mapping that to my Korg MS-20 Mini that I mentioned earlier. I was like using patch cables into like the semi-modular like patch bay. And I was also using it outputs control voltage for modular, but also outputs MIDI, which I was using to control some lights that were on the table as well. So I would like, use the drill and it'd be like opening a filter and making the lights go and everything.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah,
sick.
that would, basically it was like, my company made this, I made this. Hey, I'm gonna like use it.
Oh,
My set. Why not?
wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool as shit. That's cool as shit.
Yeah. You gotta
Love
bring
that.
your shit.
Gotta represent. Ed Jr. Morpheus
Like I said, I'm not a
95.
big oh, sorry.
Nope.
No.
Finish it up, and we'll
I was
ask
just gonna
Ed
say,
Jr.'s question afterwards.
I was just gonna say, like I said, I was never a big audio hardware guy, but this has been my gateway into kind of getting into it a
Until
little
you
bit.
figured out about drills.
Yeah, drills.
Ed Jr. Edger wants to know, will we see more projects from your other aliases, especially Null Object? I like
Yes.
Null Object a lot, so I want to know this as well.
Yeah, I would say Null Object is probably the one I'm most focused on now because I'm
Great.
kind of like, well, Groceries is like a narrative arc that has kind of told its story and concluded. I don't like to say it's like a dead project or that like it's like over, but like I knew from the beginning it was going to be a 4-album project. And so I yeah, I mean, I kind of came up with a narrative between making the first and second album, and then like that became the story. And there's a lot of like hidden messages and like references to other albums in there, but like I don't want to like spoil it. But
Love it.
but Null Object is like the most recent thing, which was like for me to make. Well, at first it was for me to make lo-fi house music, which was like house. I was calling it Vapor House. It was like the things of lo-fi house and the things of Vaporwave, the qualities of those together to make lo-fi house that was like intentionally trying to be like Vaporwave adjacent. So that's how it got started with like my album, Cooperative Taxi Station. And I continued, I plan to continue on working on that. I'm actually working on like another kind of concept EP at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed is it's very like concept driven and lots of like not found sounds or field recordings, but like not samples either, kind of like something in the middle, spoken sections.
Oh, like in my album, like a Cooperative Taxi Station, or just
Well,
like in
in
general?
Fire Reward, just as an example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
so,
the
kind
all
of
the
evocative.
Yeah, all the like spoken words from all the tracks on that actually came from VHS tapes I had that were all about like conflict resolution in the workplace,
In the corporate.
and
Yep.
yeah, and they're all like kind of like business training videos and stuff. But I made that album in response to a job I had at the time. Like I remember saying like I'm going to write an album about working here, and so like that artist name, the album name, and all of the track names are all like kind of like it's kind of an inside reference, so it's not for anyone to actually get, but they were all jargon from my old job.
That's really, really interesting. I like
Wow.
it. Yeah, that's too cool. The lore runs deep. Corizon wants to know, what is your favorite album that you think that people who aren't into electronic music would think is super weird or experimental?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
So, just so I understand the question, it's someone who doesn't listen to electronic music, and I want to get them into specifically weird electronic music, like
Yeah, so, like,
experimental shit.
Something that I guess, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they asked, I believe. That's my understanding.
Listen to Actress.
Okay.
Fair,
Nice.
fair. Now,
Deep
which
cut.
album?
R.I.P. It's my favorite one.
Got you.
I have heard a fair amount.
I know of it.
Actress.
I've just not listened to it.
Actress is like, oh my god, I love Actress so much. I remember the
I need
first
to
time I
listen
listened
to
to
more
R.I.P.
Actress.
Listen to
Yeah.
R.I.P. It's so fucking good.
I will.
Listen, like what, like I always listen to albums beginning to end. I listen to album like I read a book. I don't jump around. I don't listen to music on shuffle.
Love
Listen
that.
to the album, but when you get to Tree of Knowledge, man, it's so good.
Send you a text, huh?
Please.
Love Another question from Edger. How hard was it to move to South Korea? They said they've been thinking about moving there or Japan for quite some time and would like some guidance.
I mean, not that hard in the sense of like I had a job lined up. Like I went to South Korea and taught English. Like I went through a program recruiting English teachers, and like I was a government employee. My apartment was taken care of.
Nice.
Like all I had to do was pack my bags and go. Like I couldn't begin to tell you the process of like apartment hunting or job hunting in Korea. It was one of those things where I'd been told like if you really want to go somewhere for a while, like a good way to do it is to get someone to pay you to do it. So I thought,
Right.
what? So I used to work at a taxi company, which is what inspired my Null Object album. And
Ooh.
I got laid off from that job. Like the whole company got laid off. It was the whole thing. But anyway, everyone was kind of like panicking, like, what do we do now? What do we do next? And I was like, I think I'm gonna do something weird. I'm like, I've saved enough money working here that I could like live for an entire year without any money, and I think I would still like be able to pay my bills.
Nice.
I didn't intend on doing that. I was like, I'm gonna take this year and work on my music. That was the year I first put out Groceries cassettes, because I was just like, I don't have a job. I'm just gonna like focus on this. And in the background, I was working on applying to teach English in Korea. And so it's not a very difficult process, but it is like a lot of like waiting for things to happen. Like you have to get your certification, you have to wait for something to come in the mail, you have to mail something
Right.
elsewhere. It's like a very long and boring process. But I had a whole year, so it wasn't a problem for me. So basically after a year, I had been like putting out cassettes and working on new music and working on this, and then I just moved out of New York and brought myself to my parents' place and went to Korea.
Nice.
Sick.
Pay someone to get you to do it. Let's get one last question in before we wrap. RogeCorp with the old reliable. Are there any newer Vaporwave or adjacent releases that you've been fucking with lately?
I feel like I have been out of the loop lately, honestly. I hate to say it, but I've just been
Same.
like, I don't like, I can feel myself becoming like the older guy who like doesn't listen to new music, and I don't like it. And I think a lot of it is I don't know like where to go anymore. Like I feel like when I was first in the Vaporwave, I was like really into like absorbing everything I could about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I feel like after I went to Korea, I kind of lost touch with what was going on. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like ever since 2016 and like Trump won and everything, my mindset shifted from like just like doing what I love in music to like I became very focused on like world events and news and everything, because I was
Same.
just like, I need to know
I've
what's
become
happening.
a news junkie as well.
I'm like too addicted to the news now. I spend all my time listening
Never
to
thought I
news
would pay for a
podcasts.
news subscription, but here we are.
Yeah, well, welcome to your late 30s.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so no, but for real though, like I just like opened your Rex in another tab. Like I'm gonna check it out. Like
Oh, cool. Cool.
yeah,
Well, if
I mean,
you
like, I
made
even,
Null
like-
Object, so you might like some of it.
yeah, I mean, I know you talk about Lo-Fi House a lot. I love Lo-Fi House,
Yep.
and I went to I mean, DJ Seinfeld was originally a Vaporwave artist. Like
Did
like
not
if
know
you,
that.
if you look at his first release, it's like literally like a Seinfeld imagery and like the marble busts and Japanese.
Wow.
And it's yeah.
I need to. It
How
seems
the
that
fuck
I need
did
to
I
dig
not
deeper.
know that?
Yeah, same. Well, you know, everyone
I mean,
loves. Well,
it's a silly name.
let me not go down that road. But I mean, everyone loves Cult Member, but there were so many people that were doing it before that were doing great work, and there are many people after. So if you like that kind of stuff, I could talk your ear off about it. So I feel that on a spiritual level, man. I honestly really rely on Neon Knights,
Oh yeah.
Bort Media, and ARPwire, and just curators. You know.
Every time I see Bort Media, I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
Stuck too close to my last name.
Great crate digger, I know. Right? Yeah,
It's too close to my last name. I'm like, wait, what's going on?
True.
I didn't even
It's a
catch that.
Simpsons reference. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Bort Simpson. I would see that and I'm just like, I feel like this hurts a little bit because I keep hearing Bort and I'm like, are we talking? No, it's not me. It's not me. Okay. Like
Groceries, everybody.
My Instagram handle was like Jord Bort, so I'm
George
like,
Bort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. That was how
Guys-
I greeted you whenever I first came back, I think. I was like,
Yeah,
George
true.
Ball! And you were like,
People
who
love
are
it.
you?
Yeah, I
People
think
love
your
it.
Twitter, your Twitch is Jordbort. I could be wrong. Maybe it's JPEG Stripes.
No, it's JPEG stripes.
Isaac wrong.
Well, it's
Isaac
time to end this
wrong.
episode. Guys,
Hey, we're closed.
this has been, we're closed. This has been a terrific time with groceries, Null Object, JPEG Stripes, consumer electronics, and all of the other side projects. You've been delightful to talk to. We like to end every episode kind of giving you the platform that you deserve, to shout out anybody that you want to put us on anything that you want, to tell us what you have going on coming up, how we can support you. You know, just you have the floor, sir.
Well, I feel like, I've got multiple aliases. I've got groceries, JPEG Stripes, Null Object. I've got the new label, Consumer Electronics, so check that out on Bandcamp. I have my most recent, my first release on the label was my newest JPEG Stripes release, which is a full-length album of like, I kind of call it signal wave, but it's basically all VHS audio from Korean VHS tapes I picked up at flea markets in Seoul.
So beautiful.
So yeah,
Too
Foreign
cool.
Transmission is the album. I've got lots of cassettes, and I have JPEG Stripes t-shirts as well with like the logo, the label logo on the back between the shoulder blades, and they came out really cool, so I'm really excited about them. I sold some of them last year at like the tape swap and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I've still got plenty. So go to Consumer Electronics and check it out if you want to get some cassettes and shirts. And Bandcamp, you know how it works.
Yes.
The fans in chat understand the assignment. Again, groceries, everybody. Luxury Elite, what do you have coming down the pipelines?
I have a new album that
Ooh.
just came out as not as Lux, but as my side project, Creative Zen. I don't call it Fruitager Arrow. I call it my little weird tribute to MP3 players and my high school years. So I just released digitally an album called Micro. It's my follow-up. Oh, thank you, Dreaming Diary. I appreciate you. I had a lot of fun working on it after being stuck in the house after an ice storm. Meanwhile, the first album, Touch, which came out last year, is getting the CD treatment.
Hell yeah.
It's so weird to have that on CD. So it's coming through the Expanding
Apropos.
Earth this upcoming week, this upcoming Bandcamp Friday. I don't know what time, maybe at noon, maybe earlier. I need to ask the homie about that. But yeah, there's that. You all know Isaac and I are both playing New Visions Detroit here pretty soon with Frank
Hell yeah.
Jav C, with Christ, M310, Majestic 12, Victory Over Death, MCO Pav, and oh my god, I know I'm forgetting a homie. Please forgive
Magdalene.
me. I'm so sorry. Yes, Magdalene. Yes, Magdalene. Shout out Magdalene. New track of, well, not new track. A track of theirs is showing up on the newest Neon Nights episode that I still need to upload.
Oh, terrific.
But yes, tickets are still available. I've linked them in the chat.
Thank you for doing that.
And yeah, of course. Also, on a Creative Zen note, ArtWire did a visualizer for Touch, which is now up on YouTube. Now, apparently already has like 28,000 views, which is fucking insanity. Very
yeah.
flattered.
Shout out ArtWire.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with that.
Yep.
Trying to think of other things at the moment, but I think most other things are still under wraps, so I don't think I am at liberty to talk about them yet.
Well, I appreciate that you allowed me to recap Sanctuary Live 26, because
Yes.
I'm also playing New Visions Detroit and have not created a command for tickets, so embarrassment. And then, of course, yes, things coming down the pipelines, I know. Hey, I'm embarrassed. But Sanctuary Live 26 happened in Columbus last week. Not last weekend, but like, about a week ago. And it was gas, y'all. Lux and I both performed alongside Luxury Noise, Stevie Zevin,
Violet Angel.
A handful of other cool people. Zico set was hilarious. It was crazy. I did a 55-minute instrumental hip-hop set with a lot of like wave music there at the end, and I didn't know that if people would like it or not, but a lot of the people that performed played a lot of like hyper pop and deconstructed club stuff. So like EDM adjacent music went down very well. I actually got some really sweet compliments. But it was a nutty night, man. Some poor guy took something and like fell down on the ground and like, yeah, he was okay, but like scared everybody. Short stuff sprained her ankle, poor thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's okay, but she sprained her ankle. Some Agnar puked all over the place in the green room.
You should be putting this
I
out
probably
there,
shouldn't be like, well, what? I mean, they were fine, but like, yeah, the Agnar puked everywhere.
Someone shit their
Stevie
pants.
Zevin got a noise complaint during the last set because it went that hard, but they loved us.
Sounds successful.
And everyone wished Short Stuff a speedy, painless recovery. Poor thing. I wasn't trying to make light of that, Short Stuff. I think you know. But anyways, so terrific show. All to raise money for Trans Ohio. So I think we did well because Raina said that the venue wants us back. You could still get shirts. ! Shirt. They're dank shirts too. And then you can find that set on my SoundCloud and live footage via YouTube. I just recorded it with like my work iPad. Featuring Bowser Jr., the little plushie that Zico brought.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then other than that, New Visions Detroit and other things that are just not announced. We're gonna have well, I'll go ahead and wrap. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll just go ahead and pivot to that. It's been an excellent time. Groceries, you were terrific. As usual, very, very fun to talk to. And Luxury Elite, you always kill it as a co-host. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. If you're a new person, if you're a regular, if you're a mod, we love you equally. Thank you for the donations, guys, and the follows. You can join our Discord server and check out our curated YouTube playlists. None of it's AI. None of it's algorithmic. It's actual people putting strings of tracks together that are meaningful to them. Check that shit out. Follow us on our social media profiles, to get more Hot Takes content. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to do a Sunday episode. We were going to bring this guy on. Actually, he was supposed to be the guest this week, but fell through. But a fella named Bobby Tank, who makes kind of like maximalist, kind of genre bending. They call the genre of music complextro. Kind of an amalgamation of like retro, like synthwave. And club music. Bobby Tank's going to be joining us on a rare Sunday appearance, Sunday, April 12, and we're going to do a little earlier, 7 p.m. Eastern, to accommodate him since he's in Great Britain. But yeah, if you like synthwave, if you like neo R&B music, club ready, like retro influenced, genre bending, maximalist music, meet us at 7 p.m. Twitch.tv/HotTakesVapor on April 12th. Other than that, guys, thank you again for being our fans. And good night.
Yay, we did it.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed talking to y'all.
Imagine a world where artists from all over join together and support a cause that defends the rights and opportunities of low-income immigrants and their loved ones. Doki Doki Beats, Hush Tones, and Vault of Discoveries present A Soft Melt. Relax and lounge to some tunes by Macroblank and Lover's Dream. Or dance to your heart's content with some hardstyle and uptempo by Zaltera and Landlord Blood. Or X-Blade, the duo by Descender and Must Die. No other collection gives you the feeling of a soft melt. To order a soft melt, head on over to either the Doki Doki Beats, Hush Tones, or Vault of Discoveries Bandcamp page. For more information, call the number on your screen.